Welcome back to the show. This is KDS Reviews. This subject right here actually came up out here in the real world, starting to sound like Tron. That, you got all these big theaters, you got IMAX, you got theaters going in decline. We thought about talking about drive-in theaters. Now, drive-in theaters were started in the mid-'30s by a gentleman named Richard Hollingshead. He actually started it because his mother was too big to sit in the theater seats. I know I was kind of surprised when I heard that too. It was, and he just patented really, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, you don't really see that many drive-in theaters left in the United States. There's only 325 of them as the recording of this video. Now, what were some of the things that went on? You could bring your own snacks. People snuck in, put a bucket of chicken under a blanket, or you can put more people under a blanket to avoid the extra cost. The other thing is you had to deal with the summer heat. Now, this show was recorded in Florida, where the humidity is really, really bad. So the drive-in theater was not open all year round. It was about midsummer to about late December, and also because of the time change. Had to deal with the mosquitoes and things like that because they were always out in the woods. And, a lot of people brought lawn chairs and sat outside. They didn't necessarily sit in the car. And as far as the sound, well, there was no Dolby Atmos then. What you would do a lot is you'd either turn the radio on, or like right here, they'd hook the speaker on the side of your car. It was crackly, it was sounding, but you never went to the drive-in theater for sound and picture size. It was the atmosphere that you went to. And the movies you saw, they were just like Herbie the Love Bug, Jaws, these old monster movies, Dracula, things like that. You didn't go there for the quote, art film. Quentin Tarantino with Christopher Nolan. Monster movies, Godzilla, things along that nature. Now, do I ever think they're ever going to come back all the way that we were in the 60s and 70s? No, they're never going to come back that far because nobody wants to go outside and watch a theater. Plus, they got streaming, But I think that would be a nice one to have in this town. This is KDS Reviews, and KDS Reviews is seen every Wednesday and every Sunday. If you like this type of content, then like, subscribe, and share. Make some comments down below here if you're my age and over about the theater, the drive-in theater. Tell me about some of your experiences. This is KDS Reviews, and I'll see you in the next video.